Record. Okay, I think we're recording. So hi everybody, happy Wednesday. My name is Kathy Ty Gibson and I am an executive director with Color Street. I don't know if you guys know me, but some of these names on my screen here look familiar, so welcome to the weekly meeting. Today, I'm going to be talking about effective events. So if you guys are like me and you're looking for events all the time, this call will hopefully help you out. I do about 6 events a month, and that's on top of a regular full-time job, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 outside of the home. And I also have 2 children. I have a teenager and a toddler. So life is busy here at home. Thankfully, my husband helps out with the kids when I need to go to these events. Personally, I prefer going to events and selling Color Street over having Facebook parties and solely selling online. If you've ever done an event, you might notice that it's actually more effective to be able to sell these nail strips because you can show your customers this product and show them how it works. They get to see it in person. And I personally think it helps with sales. So I put together a little list of, ways that I find events and what I do at events to make them effective for me. So hopefully these tips will help you out. And let me know if you have any questions. I do have the chat box open, so if you do have a question, you can type it in there or feel free to unmute yourselves and ask. So how do I find events? That's usually the first question I get from people because it's hard finding events when you're so busy with either kids or your jobs or whatever the case may be. Personally, I find events on Facebook. So I go and I join a bunch of Facebook groups that are solely for my town or my city. So I'm in Southern California. So one of the groups that I'm in, it's called Vendors of Southern California or something like that. I've also joined vendor groups for my county and my city. So I'm actually on the border of Los Angeles County and Orange County here in Southern California. So I'm in both types of groups. And then what I do when I join these groups is I turn the notifications on. I always want to get a notification from Facebook when someone posts advertising an event. Sometimes these groups, though, they don't always post about events. It's like an advertisement for their business, other vendors' business. And that's okay. I get a notification that someone posted something. I open it. It's not about a vendor event. I move on, right? But a lot of times there are events that I'm able to do, and it's not that much money. It's local to me. It's on a date and time that I'm available. So, you kind of have to try to look for these things. Every now and then you see a person posting, hey, I'm looking for an event in my city. Who's hosting an event? You don't usually get responses to those. You kind of just have to wait for the event coordinators to post that they're having an event. At least that's my personal experience. Read each post carefully when you sign up because some events, they do allow for more than one type of vendor. So for Color Street, they might say, we allow, multiples of the same vendor. You kind of want to avoid events like that because you don't want to have a booth set up for Color Street. There's only 100 people expected to come, and across the way, there's another Color Street vendor. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to them. So you want to make sure that you're reading the details of these events. Don't be afraid to ask questions. So the few questions that I usually ask are, obviously, when is the event? Sometimes they don't post the date and time. They just say, oh, join us this summer for this event, but they don't leave a date and time. So you want to specify date and time. You also want to know how many vendors they'll have. So if they're having like a backyard barbecue type of event and they want to squeeze 20 vendors in their backyard, you might want to ask them for a photo to see what their backyard looks like and if they can even comfortably accommodate 20 easy ups in their backyard. Always ask if there's another Color Street vendor. just, for courtesy if someone else has already signed up and committed to that event. Also, again, you don't want to be, a second Color Street vendor there. Another question I like to ask is how many customers they expect. I try to avoid the events that say, oh, it's my first event that I'm hosting and it's going to be in our front yard, kind of like a garage sale type thing. And we've never done this before, so I don't really know how many people we can expect. Well, then my next question might be, well, do you live on a busy street, right? If you don't live on a busy street and you're like in a deep inside a neighborhood that doesn't get much traffic, you might want to avoid those types of events. Even if it costs $10, $20, your time is valuable, and you could probably find another event that, most likely is on a Saturday. You can find another event that will host more customers and more traffic, just to make better use of your time. Also, how long have they been running this particular event? Especially those huge vendor events that cost over $100, you want to know if this is their very first event ever, so they don't really know what to expect, or if it's an event they've been doing for 10 years strong and they always have a consistent amount of customers, like 500 people walk through or whatnot. So those are the ones that you definitely want to dive into. You cover how much you pay as well. Yeah, so in Vegas, high, and we say 90%, they already have this CS rep. So I've done free events. I've paid as little as $15, and I've paid as high as $365. So it really depends. I know. It depends on the type of event. The one that I paid $365. Hi, Chris. The one that I paid $365, they were anticipating 5,000 women. It was a ladies' night event. It was in San Diego, which is 2.5 hours away from me. But considering the fact that I had that much opportunity to show Color Street to 5,000 women potentially, it was worth it to me to pay $365, and it really was worth my time, because that one event, it was me and I had a helper who does not sell Color Street, so it was solely my inventory. I sold over $700 that night, almost $800. So I did profit. Obviously, you want to profit when you do these events, because, thanks, Holly, because you don't want to waste your time. And the other thing you get out of these events is you meet a lot of potential stylists. You always want to have a sign on your table that says, join my team, right? So people know that this is a direct sales company and that they can do what you do if they love the product. Most of the time they see a vendor event and they see a booth and they just think, oh, it's something that they do, and they don't really think that this is something that they could do as well, right? So let's see. I hope I answered your question. $85 to $900. Oh my gosh, I've never paid $900 for an event. I'm not sure I would, unless, I guess, if there's like 100,000 people coming, maybe. But I mean, $900, they better have at least, maybe 5,000 people coming through. And especially for $900, I personally would split the booth with 2 other Color Street reps, and all 3 of us would bring our own inventory and kind of work out how, we would split the sales or whatnot and customers. So $1,000 for 20 expected. Yeah, so they have those events over there at the convention center, and I know they have those huge events. I don't look at those. That's just too much money for me to front, right? If you can, and you can split it, have at it. Definitely do it. If not, just for the experience and for the connections, because if you can reach 20,000 people, or even if you reach 10% of the 20,000 who come, hopefully it'll be of value to you. They'll be a customer, or they'll sign up and join your team. You never really know. It's really what you want to put up front, because a lot of these you have to pay up front before you actually do the event. So avoid, when you join these Facebook groups, I know a lot of them offer these online vendor events. Avoid them. Don't do them. It's basically, they have a multi-vendor event online on Facebook, and they have one rep from each company, and each company just, posts an album into the Facebook group, and everybody kind of sells their own thing. But me personally, I have not found those to be successful. If you find one that is successful, great, have at it. But personally, I just try to avoid those because you have to pay for them, and then you're not guaranteed anybody walking through. With Color Street, it's really helpful to give samples, and on these online vendor events, they only run for 1 or 2 days. You don't have time to send your customers samples to try, right? So seems sketchy. Yeah, so that's part of why you want to ask those specific questions. Someone says, I was going to ask if the game groups are a good idea because you have to pay for a spot. Some seems sketchy to me. Yeah, I don't do the game groups. I'm not really sure what they're about. The rules confuse me, so I avoid those. Yes, I will cover the samples part. And yeah, no, don't do the game groups. So how much inventory do you need? That's another question that I get asked a lot. Generally, I base it off of the number of customers that's expected. So if there's 100 people expected, I say 10%. Bring at least 10 sets on hand. And then catalogs. Have catalogs with you. On the others, I have some signs here. So one side of my sign has all of the sets. That way, they're not flipping through a catalog or whatnot. They can just look at this one sheet and see all the sets that we currently have in our spring catalog. But it's just easier that way. So if you don't have a set and they point out one that they want, you can direct them online while they're in front of you to order from your website. I try not to let them walk away if they say they're going to order when they get home, unless they have kids screaming, obviously, with them. But if they're in front of you and they say they're going to order when they get home, just offer your cell phone and say, hey, let me help you. I'll help you navigate through, and let's just do it right now, right? Offer incentives for purchasing with you on the spot, too, which I'll go into in a little bit. So if there's 1,000 people expected at the event, I would say bring 100 sets. So again, for me, it's the 10% rule, right? So it's what I do personally. It is not a requirement. Directing people to your website to order at an event versus selling on-hand inventory. I personally like to sell on-hand inventory. I have never had someone order off of my website while at an event. Just because people like instant gratification. That's why they go to events. They shop, they want to take that item home with them. They want to put the nails on right away sometimes. So it's always about instant gratification with our type of product, right? Now, you give people their card, your business card, and you will have shoppers who go home and they will shop from you, right? But always count on those sales that happen in person, always. So another question I have been asked a lot is if you should charge tax. That's really your call. Because you're buying these on-hand sets and you've already paid taxes and shipping on them, it's really up to you if you want to recoup your taxes, right? And you also want to ask the event coordinator if they require you to charge sales tax. There are some events that will require you to charge sales tax, and then at the end of the event, they require you to report it to them because those types of events have to report it back to the city. So you always want to double check with your coordinator, your event coordinator, if they require that. Most of the ones that I've done have not required that. So, and you want to be careful with those too, because you want to make sure your city or county doesn't require a reseller's license. So that's definitely something to check. It varies based on city and county and state. Okay. I saw videos that Kelly said these access mails samples. Have you charged tax and lost customers? I've never charged tax. I take a loss on the tax. Another reason for that is I use the Square app at events, and I don't want to add sales tax to the Square app as a line item, because if I get audited, I'm charging sales tax, then I have to remit that to the state, right? So there are some rules and laws around that I can't answer for you specifically, but check with your city and county to see what the rules are. You want to be following those rules. Okay. Okay, so what to include on your table? So the signs. So you saw my join my team sign. I have a picture of what comes in the set there, and then a list of what's included, right? Because oftentimes when you have a join my team sign and that's all you have, their next question is, well, what do I get for $129? And you don't want to sit there and open your phone and open the website while you have people waiting, you know, with more questions. If you have this, you can just show them immediately what is in the kit, and it's very helpful, I think. I also do a enter to win sign, and I have a set of nails for people who join my VIP group on Facebook, right there on the spot. So they open their phones, they join my VIP group, I give them a raffle ticket, and at the end of the night, I pull a name and I announce the name on my VIP, right? So you want to give them a reason to be in your VIP. Well, you know, you can't win anything, and you don't know if you won anything unless you're in my VIP group, right? So this is also a way to expand your social networking. So they meet you at a vendor event, they purchase a set of nails from you, they know where to go to purchase more, right? Again, on the other side of this is all of the nail sets that I showed you. Usually this is what's facing out. And then when someone asks, well, what other sets do you have? Well, here they are. I also have a sign that says, you know, I do Square and I accept credit cards, because a lot of people think that you only accept cash because you're a vendor at an event, especially events that are held at a house or like in a backyard. So you want to let them know that you accept credit cards as well. On my table, I have this little notebook that I made. On the Team Nailed It page, I put a link to the documents that I have in here, so that you guys could personalize it and print it as well. I posted it several months ago, so you might have to search for it, or I'll search for it later and I'll bump it for you so you guys can see it on the team page. But it's a portable nail bar. What's in here are questions that are asked from customers oftentimes, like, what are the ingredients? Well, here they are. See if you're allergic to any of them, right? I also have how to apply graphic on here. The do's and don'ts that Color Street provides is also on here. It's just a quick flip book, like how to remove the nail polish itself. A lot of times I do get the question, hey, what comes in a set? I'm paying, you know, $13 for design. What do I get with it? And I have this image here where it shows you get 2 strips, you get the 2 cut pads and a little mini nail bar, right? So this helps because I don't want to sit here and open all the sets and say, well, this is what you get, and show them. And then what if, you know, I can't reseal the package or whatnot? So I usually just flip to this. So that's helpful. And then also on my table, I have a little information sheet that I made. Just, you know, their information if they want to host a nail bar or if they want more information on joining my team. So a lot of times when they want to join the team, I send them the policy and procedure via PDF. I send them the Jumpstart rewards package, just all the pertinent information, right, the compensation plan, just so that they can read about the business before they actually join, and they usually have questions from that, right? So, and obviously nail sets. I have nail sets on my table. Let's see if there's any questions. Oh, sorry, my voice was muffled. I'm so sorry. I hope you were able to catch the gist of it at least. I'm not sure what part you caught. So, okay, so what comes in the kit? Stickers. Okay, so when you sell your nail sets, do you guys have little stickers that you put on the packages so that your customers know where to go to buy more? You have no idea how many customers I get at vendor events who come up to my table and say, I've tried Color Street before. I have no idea who I bought it from, so I'm about to buy some more from you, right? So what I did was on Vistaprint, I made these little mini stickers, and they fit on the back of the set, just like that, where you open the flap. So when I sell a set, I just pull out one of these stickers and I stick it on the back of this. They buy 4 sets, I put it on all 4 sets. Because if they end up giving it as a gift to somebody, or you know, they use it at home and they lost your business card. How many of you have lost business cards for people that you met, right? So business cards are good, but stickers are more effective. They have to look at your sticker every time they open the package, right? They weren't too expensive. I actually, so on Vistaprint, they offer a sheet where it's all on one 8.5 by 11 sheet, and then they offer the roll. Don't get the roll. The roll is like $100. I don't even know why it's $100. I know. I don't know why it's $100, but buy the sheet. They're a lot more cost effective. So that's that. And then also, when you buy a set for me at an event, I put them in these little baggies. I usually have like my information stuck on here. This bag is from the packet, so it's not there yet. But the sets fit perfectly in here. See that? And they get to walk away with a little bag and not just a set that they stick in their purse that might get, you know, damaged or whatever. So I like to give away these bags. These I bought at Michael's. And if you're out and about and you find little baggies that you're not sure will fit a set, just pull out a dollar bill. Pull out a dollar bill. If the dollar bill fits on here, then you're good to go, because the size of the sets is exactly the size of a dollar bill. So address label type stickers, I'm printing them at home, and you can do that too. You can definitely print them on your computer at home. It is more cost effective to do it that way. But my suggestion is don't put them on your sets until you've sold them. Because how many times have you swapped with other stylists, or you know, whatever the case may be? So don't put the stickers on until you sell them. I also have price stickers. You see that? They're little mini price stickers that just fit on the corner of the set. And the reason I like to have the price stickers on my sets at events is because people are always asking, why is this $13 and why is this $12? Well, this is a glitter, but why is it $13? Well, it's ombre, right? So having the prices on your sets already saves from, you know, from you having to answer that question a million times at an event, especially if your table gets packed and you have, you know, 5 people asking you questions. They want your attention. You're the only one behind your booth. You want to be prepared. This will help you out. Suggest the stickers instead of business cards. I do both. So I do have business cards. My business cards actually match this design. You know, I do both. I do this, and I actually, you don't have to do this, but I also offer pens as swag to my customers. So when they purchase, you know, sets, I just stick this in there. And what's on here is my Color Street web address, right? So, I mean, how many people keep pens, you know, versus business cards around, right? And these pens are from National Pen. It's, I think it's pens.com or something. They're 49 cents each. And it's a stylus pen, and it's a little clicker. And you can get them in multiple colors, but I just get the simple black. So, I mean, if someone's purchasing $40 worth of nails and I'm giving them an extra pen that costs me 49 cents, to me it's worth it, right? Okay, so I keep checking the chat to make sure you guys don't have any additional questions. Okay, samples. Samples are a big deal at vendor events. When I first started, I used to buy those little organza bags, those little cutesy little bags that, you know, I throw my business cards in there, I put the little sample in there, I put a little prep pad and nail file, and then I stick it on my table, and people walk by and they just grab it. They don't ask questions, they don't, you know, ask what it is, they don't ask how to use it. So I was wasting money just putting it out there and just letting people walk by and grab. So I don't do that anymore. My samples are kept with me at an event, and I keep them in this little plastic case that I got at Michael's. But, you know, I carry the little cuticle sticks, the little prep pads fit in here, little nail files. I do keep the little nail polish removers that Color Street offers us, but I don't really use them. But they're in here just in case someone really hates their sample and really wants to take it off. That's happened to me once. She was like, this nail polish is itching me. And I was like, she was freaking out. I know, I didn't get it either. But she wanted it off, so we took it off. But I have it in here, and I keep it behind hidden behind my displays. I don't let them pick their samples anymore. I used to do that too. And then you have these kids who come up and try to grab, you know, all the glitter designs or whatever. So I don't let them pick anymore. So usually when they come up to my table, you want to ask them questions that are not yes and no. You want to ask open-ended questions. So usually I'll say, well, what's your favorite color? I probably have a sample that I can put on you. Or if I see their outfit and I see they're wearing blue, I'll be like, hey, look, I've got this blue glitter one I can put on you. And it's going to match your outfit for the night. You know, this is a ladies' night. You're going to have some accent nails and you're going to be sparkling, right? So I just force myself on them and I just give them the sample. I put it on them. So I'll pull out a sample, I'll pull out the prep pad, and I'll grab a nail file just in case. And I'll just walk over. Don't stand behind the table. Okay, don't stand behind your vendor table. Always stand on the side or in front of it. Because if they see you behind the table, they'll just keep walking. They feel like they're bothering you, or that the second someone stops at their booth and you're just sitting there bored, that you're going to pounce on them, right? So don't don't do that. I just stand in front of it and just greet people as they walk by. How are you doing today? And then they'll stop. Oh, what is Color Street? That's usually the first question I get. And I'll just literally, oh, I'm going to put a sample on you. Which nail do you want it on? That's how I do it. Most times they'll say yes, and most times you put a sample on someone and they see how easy it is to use, they will buy. Even if it's just one set. But hey, if you put 20 samples on and you sell 20 cents at 20 cents at an event, that's a win, right? Okay, what do they ask? What do you say when they ask what Color Street is? 100% real nail polish that you can do a full manicure in 10 minutes. Do you want to see how this works? I mean, come on, it's simple. You know, you just, that's all they say. 100% real nail polish strips that you can apply in 10 minutes. And here's another tip for you. When you're at a vendor event, make friends with the other vendors before the event starts and put a sample on them. Because what I have found is when the vendor next to you is wearing the sample that you put on them before the show started, they'll jump in, they'll chime in and say, oh my gosh, she put the sample on me earlier. Look at my nail. And they get all excited because they've got some kind of glitter or something on their nail, right? So those vendors will advocate for you and they get excited too. And the other thing is when you put the glitter ones, I love the glitter samples, by the way. When you put the glitter nails on people, especially other vendors, you watch them throughout the day from your booth staring at their nails. And it's the greatest thing ever. I enjoy that. That tickles me. It's awesome. It's great because you can see that they're enjoying the product. So they are your biggest sales, and sometimes, yeah, for sure, the vendors. Sticker or wrap? No, I don't say that. What I have said when they say, well, how does it work? Is it like a sticker? And my response is, it's a peel and stick concept, but it's real nail polish. That usually makes sense to them. I'm not sure why, but it does. Do you ever use solids as samples? Only if they ask. If they see me pull out a glitter sample and they freak out, like, oh my gosh, I can't do bling or whatever, I'll be like, okay, I do have solids and I do have French. Which one do you want? And I'll swap it out, and give them something else. The other thing about it, there's 2 samples in here. This goes to 2 people. So one person gets, a little ring finger accent nail and another person gets a little pinky accent nail. Use these scarcely. I don't put both of them on one person because for the most part, they only need to see one on their nail to really fall in love with the product. Another thing I do is if they do have short nails, like I have short nails. So what I do is I show them how to use both sides while I'm putting the sample on them. I'll put both sides and I'll put them on, 2 ring fingers or whatnot, just to show them that they can have more than one nail done with each strip so they can get a mani-pedi. Okay. Let's see. Bring hand sanitizer, guys. Hand sanitizer. Buy one from Costco. Especially me who puts these samples on people, and sometimes I'll walk them through it and I'll show them how to do it and they'll do it themselves. But 9 times out of 10, I'm putting the sample on them. And when you're touching people, sanitize, please. Well, buy a little trash can. So for travel purposes, I just stick that in there, and this goes in my little box, that I take to vendor events. I have a little crate that I have, and then I have a little bag for my nail sets. That's all I carry. I mean, other than my signage and a table and a chair, right? But this little trash can I bought at Amazon. This is just so you can see the size of it. It's pretty cool. And it comes with little baggies that you can use to refill. But this is where you put all your trash, hide it behind your displays or somewhere behind the table so it's out of view because people don't want to see a trash can on your table. Okay, so networking. Vendor events is always a place to go to network. Network with the other vendors, network with your customers. You never know who's a customer who maybe didn't get a table at the event because, like if it's lip sense, maybe they sell lip sense and they're just there to visit somebody or they're just there to shop. But network with them because a lot of times they do know of other events that they could refer you to. And they, if you make friends with them and then they, talk to another event coordinator and they're like, oh, what, do you know anyone who sells Color Street? Oh yeah, I do. I met somebody last week at this vendor event who's really nice, right? So make friends, be nice with them, see if they have business cards. The other vendors at the show, talk to them. A lot of times they have connections. Like some of these people, they've been doing, direct sales for years, like 20 years. And they have shows that they do consistently every year for, certain events within their city, like the 4th of July events or, fall festivals or whatnot. And they're a dedicated vendor for, these event coordinators and these specific events. They might be able to get you in. So make nice with them too. And then follow up with the organizer before you leave the event. A lot of times I see people packing up and then they just walk out. They don't say bye to anybody. They just leave. Whether they had a good day or bad day, it doesn't matter. You just see them packing up and they leave. So what I do is I pack up and then I, find the event coordinator and I thank them for having me and I tell them how I did. They like to know that their event was successful for you. And if it wasn't, maybe give them feedback nicely. Don't criticize them, but just be like, oh, this might have worked better if, we had a sign in the front of the house, like if it's a backyard type thing. There's no signage. Next time, if you want, I can, connect you with someone who makes signs or something, but good feedback is always helpful and they'll remember you for it. The event that I sold, the one that I paid $365 for, and I sold over $700 at that event, the lady remembered me because at the end of the night, I told her how I did, and I told her I thanked her for all the connections I made. And then she invited me back to another event for free. I sold another $700 at that second event, guys. And then I'm doing another one with her in August. So, and she's only charging me $50 for that one. So make those connections and talk to the event coordinators because they'll most likely they do more than just that one event, right? Are you cutting or ripping it to you? Oh, so the samples, I use my nail. I don't show them the method that's on the back of our sets where you file it down. You put the sample on and then you use your nail to basically, I say, fold it under your actual nail and it'll automatically rip off, right? So you just fold and pull. That's how I show them. And that kind of falls into, not using tools if you don't need to. And then I tell them that there's a little mini nail file. If they need to, they can file the corners of their nails. Don't, fray back and forth because that'll make them not smooth. But that's how I show them the sample. Connections equals winning. Yes, absolutely. They like when they know their events have good representation. Yes, definitely. I did a cheerleading event once, and that was a really good event too. It was a cheer competition. And from that event, I booked an event. This was in January. I booked an event for October because another person who was there with his kid is running another event in October, kind of a similar, event type thing. And he invited me back because he loved how I had my table and he loved how I presented myself. always smile, because if you're standing there and you look like you're having a miserable time, no one is going to want to come over and talk to you. Right? Misery loves company, I guess. So anyway, I think that's all I have. I have this on a little document I can post onto the team page after, so you guys can print it out and reference it. But it's 6:36. We have 9 minutes if anybody has questions. Do I dare take this off mute? Let me see how this. Unmute all. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so if you have questions, unmute yourself, and I'm here. Anybody have questions? Oh my gosh, that's a little doggy, Michaela. So cute. That's so cute. I think it's only 3 minutes left. Am I wrong? I'm at 6:37. Oh, is it 6:40? Is that where it cuts me off? Okay, so we have 3 minutes. Anybody have questions? Are we good? I can't see half of you, so I'm going to assume that's good. This is recorded, so I will post the recording on the team page.
Kathy.
Hi.
Hey, so how many events do you try and shoot for a month?
I do 6 events a month.
All right, and you try and do those Saturdays or Sundays or what?
I try to do Saturdays or Sundays. I try not to do back-to-back because my husband, has to watch the kids when I do that. So there are times where I do like a Tuesday night or a Thursday night. Sometimes I'll take time off of work to do an event, if it's a daytime event, because I work 8 to 5. So if an event is like I've done one where it was a 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or something like that, I'll just take the day off of work and I'll just do that. So
how are you deciding to do these events during the week?
Just based on, go ahead.
Sometimes I see these things and I'm like, ooh, a Tuesday. I don't know about a Tuesday.
Well, the main thing that I look at is what is the purpose of the event, right? A lot of times if it's an event on a weekday, it's usually a networking event that's looking for vendors, or a school who is doing some kind of a fundraiser or some kind of event where they're inviting parents and teachers to do, like, what was the last one I did? It was a holiday one, and it was at a school, and the kids were allowed to have like $10 on them or something. And so for that one, I dropped my prices down to $10 so the kids could afford it to buy it for their moms, right, for the holidays. So prices, you can charge whatever prices you want. I base my charges off of the type of event. Obviously, the ladies' night where, there's thousands of women, it's going to be, regular website pricing, $13 for the designs and $12 for the glitters. But if it's like a school event, I'll do, the buy 3 get 1 free. Or if it's the kids shopping, and I know the coordinator tells me it's the kids shopping, then I'll lower it to like $10 a set so they can afford it. So I do some at bowling alleys. The bowling alleys have a lot of kids who come in, and they do come in with cash, guys. It's shocking. They come in with cash and they want to shop and they want to buy while their parents are bowling. So, I mean, you never know. Always map the address that's given to you and Google map it and check. They do the street view, just so you're in a safe place or a safe neighborhood or not. I tend to do that before I pay, just because you never know. Thanks, Megan. Anybody else have questions?
Yes, I have a question. Can you hear me, Kathy?
I can hear you.
Okay, I just signed up for a vendor event. They're saying over 5,000 people will be there. It's a basketball nationals tournament at our Orlando Convention Center in Florida. And it's costing me a lot of money, but I'm willing to take the risk. So I just stocked up on these slam dunk nail strips, which are going to be going discontinued. So I just ordered 50 of them, hoping that I can sell those. But what other colors should I get? I guess I know parents will be wanting some, adults will be wanting some and such. So what I guess my question is, this is next month, so I need to get more orders in. what do you suggest color-wise sell the most?
So I always stock up on sets I have samples for, first off. So I have a lot of samples for Arctic Evening. If I'm going to put this on people, most likely, if they fall in love with it, they're going to want to buy this set, right? So I do stock up on the ones that I do have a lot of samples for, and then if I have sets for those on hand, I will try to put this sample on because I want to sell and get rid of these, right? The other thing you might want to do is find out if is it a specific school? Like, are there school colors that you can cater to?
True.
And do solids and glitters as your options, but lean more towards the glitters because when people are trying to mix, designs with glitter, they tend to go the glitter route for that accent nail. So that's my suggestion. I always try to play the colors. And then I have this display that's in my car, actually. It looks like this.
Okay.
Little thing right here. I got it on Etsy, and this is where I showcase the top sellers. Or if there's been a recent launch, I'll showcase, like, the patriotic nails would go here last month. This month, if I do or July, if I do events, I'm going to showcase the summer sets on here. But you want to have a focal point on your table for the sets that you want to highlight, the basketball ones being one of them, right? And then I hope that answers your question.
Yes, that's great advice. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And then somebody asked how I display the sets. So this is one of the displays that I have. All of my displays I get on Etsy, but I mean, there are various types that there's different displays that I do. And I try to sort, glitters on one stand, designs on another. Solids I keep in here. I got this little box. It's like a little planter box or a pen box or something from 31. I display all of my solid sets in the middle. See, it has this little, there's like 3 sections. I'll put my pens, the pens that I give to people, in one box. And then I have my plastic nail displays in this one. And then the middle one, I usually keep my solids, right? So sort your sets on your table so people can find things easily. It helps me because it helps me find things easier too when they're looking for a specific thing. So thank you, Michaela, for the time call out. Okay, so if nobody has any more questions, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Awesome. Thank you all for listening to me. I apologize that Kelly's not here. I hope I did her good. So it was great seeing you. Thank you. It was great seeing you guys. Take care. Have a good night.